I don't always get sick, but when I do, I become a celebrity. No, but seriously, I meant to have a battle up for you guys yesterday, but things happen. I got sick, and that just wasn't gonna be a possibility. But I'm feeling better today, although I'm still not 100%, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this as just the same as if I had posted it yesterday. So yeah. To all my GTS people, I did get a handful of subscribers and a pretty generous amount of views. So I just want to thank you guys right now. You guys are truly awesome. All the comments and stuff really brighten my day. And I haven't been doing the whole narration thing for long, but I'd say I've definitely come a long way in the past 3 months. And yeah. Also, if you guys have ever wanted me to see, I can't even talk. If you guys have ever wanted to see me use a team you made or something of that nature, then definitely stay tuned till the end of the battle, because although this is going to be a longer video, I have a few announcements to make at the end. So yeah. With all that being said, I'm actually going to jump cut right now because I've tried to do this intro like 10 times. And it's annoying to have to keep doing it. So, yeah, be right back. So, now that long intro's out of the way, we can finally get into this game. So, what's going on, guys? Ryan here. Today I have a UU game for you. I'm sorry if I talk a bit fast or if I cut out a few details, but this is kind of a long battle, and I still have my announcements to make at the end. So, looking at this team, it's not that competitive. And it's actually a team I made for a friend. Shout out to you, Nathaniel, if you happen to be watching this right now. But anyway, it's definitely fun to use, even though, like I said, it's not the most competitive team ever. So I decided to use it, and I actually had a pretty good game with it, and it was this one, and that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. So, my team is Standard Offensive Life Orb Arcanine, Subseed Shaman, Custop Lead Golem, although I didn't actually lead with it this game, Specs Slowbro, Standard Prankster, Taunt Sableye, and Swords Dance, Offensive Rapid Spin Sandslash, and yeah. His team looks really Volt-turny, which is not fun to deal with at all, because his team is actually pretty well put together. So let's see what I can make of it. I'm just going to go ahead and click this play button right now. So, I opt to lead with Sableye as he decides he's going to lead with Roserade, which is fine. And now I predict him to want to switch into Xatu to bounce back the predicted taunt at me. But that's not what happens, as he actually just does set up a layer of spikes as I go for foul play trying to hit the Xatu. But whatever. So this turn I'm going to go for taunt because I don't know. I mean, I don't know why he set up spikes in the first place, but he did it. And he actually makes another good play and goes for Giga Drain, probably again predicting the taunt, which sucks for me. But I figure Arcanine would be a really good switch in this scenario simply because I can threaten out that Roserade and go from there. But this guy is going to predict me again and pull a double switch into his Rhyperior, knowing that I want to go into my Arcanine. Good news for me, though, is that I get an Intimidate drop, so I feel really safe switching into my Sandslash, even though it is offensive, because I figure I can take any hit relatively well after Intimidate, and then just get off the spin, as he actually ends up setting up Stealth Rocks, which is fine by me, again, because I do have the Sandslash, so I'm just going to go ahead and spin away all his hazards, and we're right back to square one, and yeah. Now he goes into the Roserade, and the Giga Drain is way too painfully obvious, and I know he's more than likely going to predict my Shaman switch in, which is why I'm actually going to stay in and go for Earthquake trying to kill this thing. Thankfully, I predict correctly. He goes for Sludge Bomb, does get the poison, but it really doesn't matter, as I'm just going to stay in Earthquake, and he loses his Roserade, meaning my Shaman is free to spam Leech Seeds and Substitutes, also meaning that he's not going to be able to get up spikes again for the rest of this game, which is really good for me. So now he goes into the Victini, and I decided to save Sandslash for Death Fodder. Not entirely sure why I did that, but I did. And I just go directly into my Slowbro. I know he's probably going to U-turn, but all the same, it's just the safest play I could possibly make. As he does U-turn, gets off a decent chunk, but because of that damage, this Slowbro actually doesn't have any defense EVs because again, it's offensive specs. So yeah, looking at that damage, he's probably Scarf Victini. He U-turns into the Raikou. The Raikou is in my face. I'm gonna switch out into my Golem just because I do have a Custop Berry. So worst case scenario, he hits me down to my Sturdy and I just kill it with the Custop Earthquake like that. I was actually hoping he'd go for the Volt Switch because, you know, that just would have been better, but no. Either way, I got to kill something with the Custop Berry Golurk. I mean, not Golurk, Golem. So that's always cool. Don't get my rocks, unfortunately, because I figured killing off the Raikou would be a much better play in the long run than just setting up stealth rocks. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I can't really say, but he does end up killing me with his Victini. U-turns out, and he goes into the Xatu. And all this U-turning is really getting on my nerves. Kind of wish I had gone for rocks, but all the same, that thing, the Raikou, was way too big of a threat. So it turns out the Xatu has U-turn, and he U-turns again with that. And I'm just going to trick whatever, because I know nothing wants my specs, because the Xatu really doesn't appreciate them, and his other dudes are offensive. So yeah. That's exactly what happens. Trick him the specs, as he does just Toxic me this next turn. I don't know why he stayed in and risked letting me burn him with Scald, because he does have the Xatu, but whatever. He does it. I can't stop him, and yeah. The Toxic's not really a big deal, because this Slowbro is offensive, like I said, so it's not really going to be staying in for that long, so I'm fine with that. Just going to go for Scald again, trying to either finish it off or maybe get a burn, but he actually ends up switching into the Xatu, and I'm still not getting a burn, which sucks for me, but whatever. Toxic is probably going to start racking up soon, so I'm just going to go ahead and switch out of there, get my generator going, and I actually go into my Arcanine. I'm not sure why I went in my Arcanine, but I did it, maybe to threaten him with Wild Charge. And speaking of which, Wild Charge and Flare Blitz are painfully obvious, which is why I'm going to go for Close Combat, trying to get the Rhyperior on the switch, but for some reason he decides he's going to go into Hitmontop. I really don't know why he did that. Like, just thinking about it, I don't know why he did that. If I had gone for Flare Blitz, I would have done huge damage to that thing, but it worked out, as he does get the Wish from the Xatu, and gets back a lot of health. Either way, though, I really don't have any use for this Sand Slash, so I'm just going to switch it in as fodder. But he's actually going to switch out and go into the Victini. Again, I don't know why. Really don't. But he did, and he's going to U-turn, and I can't stop him, so I'm just going to have to let my Sand Slash die. Basically, the way things are looking now, Slowbro beats all of his dudes one-on-one, but I have to get it in safely. And now would be a pretty good chance to do that. If I'm smart, I will, but I'm pretty sure I go into my Shaman. Yep. I go into Shaman thinking, hey, Xatu doesn't have the best attack in the world, meaning his U-turn probably won't break my sub. So even though I can't Leech Seed it, I can get behind a substitute and start posing somewhat of a problem to his team, as he does just go for Wish again. And here I'm expecting him to try to pass it off to something, most likely the Victini, which is why I'm going to go for Earth Power. But here I just end up looking stupid because I'm faster than him, and he actually stays in and goes for U-turn instead of hard switching, and I'm just stupid. I really, really am. But whatever. He goes into the Victini now. I know he's faster than me, because I know he's probably Scarfed, and he does outspeed this Shaman, so unless he's just running a Jolly Nature and we Speed Tide because this is a Timid Shaman, he's definitely going to be the Scarf set. But looking at the damage he did to my Slowbro, he's got to be Scarfed, because I don't think he's going to be Expert Belt Victini. Anyway, I sub again as he does U-turn out, and here I'm just going to try to hit the Xatu with a Seed Flare, because I can't do anything else to it. I can't Leech Seed because he has the stupid Magic Bounce, as he is going to break my sub with the Psychic. And at this point, I'm kind of mad that I missed the Seed Flare, which is why I'm actually just going to stay in and go for another one. And it actually kind of works out, as I do get a crit Spadef drop, which is kind of funny. Definitely makes up for the miss, but it really doesn't matter, as he's going to go for the U-turn. And yeah, I know he's going to bring in the Victini, but what can I really do about it at this point in the game? Anyway, he goes into the Victini, and that saddens me, because I really hate this thing. Seriously, all this U-turning is so annoying. I need to kill either the Victini or the Xatu. That is how I'm going to win this game. So he U-turns again on my switch to Slowbro, and I figured instead of switching out like I've been doing, I'm just going to go for Scald and try to kill that damn thing, because it's just so annoying, all the U-turns. Good lord. So that's the plan. Thankfully, he goes for Wish instead of U-turning again, so I'm just going to Scald, and down goes that annoying-ass Xatu. And now Shaman can spam Leech Seeds at its leisure, and more importantly, he can't keep U-turning between the Xatu and the Victini indefinitely. So he's going to go back into it now, and I figure he's probably going to go for the Bolt Strike, trying to kill off my Slowbro, because it more than likely would, because my Slowbro is so low and it is toxic and everything. Just kind of rhymed there, which is kind of funny. Anyway, he does go for the Bolt Strike, as I do switch out into my Arcanine to get the Intimidate drop, and after that, even though this is offensive Arcanine, his attack really didn't do that much, and I know he's not going to stay in on me, so I'm going to predict him again to go out into the Rhyperior, but he goes into the Hitmontop again for the Intimidate, which is just silly, because if I had gone for Flare Blitz, that would not have been pretty for the Hitmontop, but whatevs. It happens. So I'm going to go into Slowbro just because I know he can't do anything because I'm already toxic, and if he goes for Sucker Punch, it's not going to work. But he actually ends up doing a double into the Victini, and I get my leftovers that I stole from his thingy, his Hitmontop, and then I take toxic damage, and yeah. I know he's not going to Bolt Strike here because I switched out last time, and he's probably going to try to get some damage on something. So he's going to go for the U-turn. I predict right. He goes into the Hitmontop, and probably just trying to fodder it, and I'm just going to go straight for Scald, trying to get a burn or just kill something. Sadly, neither of those happen, as I don't get the burn and I don't kill the Hitmontop, and just sad times all around, but whatever. I predict the Sucker Punch here, just because Hitmontops do tend to carry that to deal with Ghost types, and I predict correctly, as he does decide to go for the Sucker Punch. I switch out into my Shaman and dodge the Sucker Punch, which is cool. And here I really should have gone for Earth Power. I don't know why I didn't. I really don't. But for some reason I decided hey, let's go for Substitute. Why not? So that's what I did. Went for the sub. And I think it was so I could scout this Victini to see if it outsped me again. Just to like confirm to myself that it was Scarf. And he does outspeed me again. So I'm 99.9% sure that the Victini is Scarfed. Again, Earth Power just would have been so much of a better play. I don't know why I didn't go for it, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna Leech Seed whatever wants to come in, and it's this it's the Hitmontop, and lol Leech Seed kill. Kind of funny, but not really a big deal. But yeah, Hitmontop is finally down, and I know he has to go into Victini here because Rhyperior will not appreciate dealing with Shaman in the least, which is why I'm actually just going to go into my Sableye, really just as death fodder. You know, just trying to fodder something, and because I know he's just going to do the stuff. I know he's going to U-turn again. I don't think he's gone for a V-Create one time this game, which is weird. But he goes into the Rhyperior now, and I could taunt him, but I really don't think he's going to go for Rocks. I think he's going to go for the offensive move, trying to kill off my Sableye, which is why I'm going to go for Will-O-Wisp. But for some reason, he sets up really late-game Stealth Rocks, and I mean, they're not really going to help him that much, because all I really have to do is get Slowbro in safely, and something dies. He actually has the Roar on this Rhyperior, which I also found to be very strange, but, you know, at the end of the day, to each his own, all that sort of stuff. He roars me out, and hilariously enough, I get roared into Slowbro, which is absolutely ideal, so I'm just going to click Scald. And as we've seen in the past, something dies. So he lets the Rhyperior die, and his last is finally that dumb Victini. And that works out for me because regardless of what he locks himself into, I do have a switch in, and I do win because I actually kept my Firewater Grass core alive the entire battle, which is kind of funny. Anyway, I'm going to switch into Arcanine now just to get the Intimidate drop. Other than that, it's his death fodder. So that's what's going to happen. Go into Arcanine, get the Intimidate drop, fodder it off, as he's actually going to lock himself into Bolt Strike, which is fine with me because I still have Shaman left, which is always a cool guy to have. I really do like Shaman. Anyway, send it in, and yeah, that's pretty much game. Because as you see, he is choiced. He's choice Scarfed, like I thought he was this entire game. I was right. goes for the Bolt Strike, and it really does nothing, and I don't know why I went for Leech Seed right there. Again, just another weird play that I made that I can't really justify, but I did it, so yeah. At this point, Earth Power would be a 3-hit KO, as you see right there, but I do get a Spadef drop, meaning I'm just going to be able to kill it off in 2 hits. And now that I think about it, maybe it still would have been a 2-hit KO because Leech Seed, I'm not entirely sure. But regardless, one more Earth Power is going to finish off the Victini, and that will indeed make it be the game. So there you have it. Victini goes down, and that's the game in my favor. 3-0, which is pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really the best at UU, but I try sometimes, and yeah, this is the result of that. I'm more of an OU type of guy, but that's getting kind of boring. Because I went 11-0 in OU, absolutely undefeated, and I'm not trying to get a big head here, guys. I'm not the best, but I'm definitely not a bad player. And I was hoping for more of a challenge, but I didn't get it. So, yeah. So here's where you guys come in. As you've noticed, I've been using the same 3 or 4 OU teams throughout this past 3 months, and that's boring, which is why I want you guys to send me teams. The teams can be any tier for any generation. Just tell me which tier they are in advanced, or which generation, so I'll know. And yeah, I'll use them, make videos with them, things and stuff. Because I think it would be kind of cool to feature some teams you guys made, and that would save me the trouble of making new teams for myself because I'm lazy and weird. Again, these teams don't have to be completely serious. You know, they can have like a few do for lols, trolly kind of Pokemon, but don't make it like, don't send me a team full of Magikarps. I definitely won't use that. But yeah. I've never really played any tier outside OU and UU, but I wouldn't mind trying lower stuff, so if you guys want to send me something like that, fine, send me. Like I said, guys, send me whatever, and I'll definitely be glad to use it. And I'm repeating myself and rambling, so I think I'm going to stop this one here. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to leave a like if you did, leave me a comment, tell me what you thought, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video if you think it's good and you want other people to see it. You guys know. And yeah, I think that'll about do it for me. So with all that stuff being said, I'll see you guys next time.